World War II played a huge role in Guam's history. Many of Guam's veterans have stories of their experiences during the war, but there was a particular soldier who played an important role. Here is the story of Jorge Cristobal.
Jorge Cristobal is perhaps one of the most interesting and remarkable stories that I've come across, not only with the battle for Guam and the Guam World War II experience, but even all of the Pacific War. Jorge was born on Guam in 1918. He grew up here, and Guam was, of course, a lot different back in the years before World War II. He was able to get permission from the Navy to leave Guam and go to college, which was very rare, not only for anyone living in the United States to go to college, but particularly for people of Guam. So Jorge left in 1935 and went to Tokyo, Japan, where he enrolled in Waseda University. He learns Japanese, and he learns not only the conversational Japanese, but he learns the written language, and he writes letters home to his dad in Japanese. But his dad had to go and find someone on Guam to translate his letters from his son, but I'm sure he was very proud. Until 1937, the year that Japan invaded China and began the war in the Pacific. Jorge leaves Japan in 1938 and returns to Guam. Once he's back on Guam, his father tells him, son, you need to find something else to do with your life. I can't continue to take care of you. I have your brothers and sisters to take care of as well. He decides to enlist in the United States Navy. And as a Chamorro, Jorge is also very limited in his options. He can only be a mess room attendant in the U.S. Navy, despite the fact that he knows Japanese. His battle station job is to help transfer the ammunition from the magazines to the main guns on the battleship. On December 7th, 1941, Jorge is on the USS California at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Japanese are, of course, launching their surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. 88 men on the ship are killed. Jorge is not among them. He's lucky to survive. But Jorge is temporarily transferred to be the assistant of an admiral, and also Jorge, of course, learns that his home, Guam, has been invaded and captured by Japan. His family is under Japanese occupation, and of course he's totally unable to communicate with his family. So the whole time, the whole war, this has to be on the back of his mind. What's happening to my family right now? Now, eventually, Jorge is made the assistant of Admiral William Halsey, who was one of the most important admirals in the Pacific Theater. One day, in early 1944, Admiral Halsey asked Jorge, he says, "Cristobal, how would you like to go back to Guam?" So, of course, he jumps at this chance. Jorge is transferred from the Navy temporarily to the United States Marine. The morning of July 21st, 1944, Jorge gets up and begins a short but terrifying ride back home to Guam. Now the battle rages across all of Guam for nearly 3 weeks. Jorge is proving instrumental because of his intimate knowledge of Guam and the terrain. Now Guam is declared secure on August 10th, 1944, but one of the things that is really bothering him is he still hasn't heard from his family. Finally, they're walking down a path. Jorge and the Marines see a figure in the distance, and immediately the Marines, gung-ho Marines, raise their rifles and they assume it's a Japanese soldier. So Jorge, something's not right. The man is not armed. He asks them to lower their weapons, and motions for the figure to walk towards them. And as the man comes closer, Jorge realizes it's his dad. and to his great relief, his family is okay. Eventually, Jorge retires from the Navy in 1961, and he is risen to Chief Petty Officer. He returns to Guam and lives the rest of his years in his home. And Jorge Cristobal passed away in March of 2009 at the age of 90.
Today we live in peace, but we must never forget to honor, thank, and respect the veterans who fought and risked their lives to give Guam freedom and a better future. Without their sacrifices, Guam would never be the way it is today.